hypnotic dance. She holds me here with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and we are happy to be here on this fine Saturday evening broadcasting and bringing you the best in paranormal talk entertainment. Maybe in that order. I don't know. We'll have to see what order it is. But we're going to bring you the best show that we know how to anyway. And it may take a lot of different forms throughout the evening, but at any rate, I'm not alone here, folks. I am joined by my good friend, my co-host, the Big Toe, Mr. Don Longbeard.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello? Did you say hello?
I said hello.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, it's sounding kind of muted tonight.
You sound kind of muted.
Maybe I'm sounding a little muted. There
Check one, check one.
Is your headphones sounding right?
Check two.
Yeah.
I always have a hard time hearing myself. Which ones are mine?
I think number 2.
Number 2, which would be this one.
Yeah, I think.
So, yeah. Oh, that's much better. Now I can hear me, too. Wow.
Wow. Well, we'll see how that works out. Maybe that's been the problem all this time, folks.
Maybe. Maybe Don will stop yelling at the microphone.
Oh, no. Yeah,
No,
probably not. No, we'll probably count on that continuing. But we are thrilled you guys are here. And throughout the course of the evening, there is the ability for all of you all out there listening to the sound of my voice or looking at the wonderful, handsome visage in front of you. In either case, you can call in and be a part of the shows by calling 720-923-0500. 0500. So
500.
those are the numbers for fun right here in the Paranormal Portal, and we'd love to have you on to hear what you've got to say. If you got something paranormal related,
Or if just for a good time call.
Don, you have to give your own number for that one. We're not going there. We don't do that here.
555-555-5555.
Law don't go around here, law dog. You savvy?
Jesus. I'm your Huckleberry.
Perhaps we should have a spelling contest.
Well, I do declare.
All right. So, oh, you did. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I'll have to look at that. Look for that at one of our break stream. But thank you. She said, I sent Brent a story today. I'm not nice. Calling.
Nice.
She said, I'm not calling.
Why?
Okay.
It's a simple phone number. You just dial the number. It dials in. I look over and go, Brent, check your board. And he checks the board and he goes, oh, hi, Dream.
Yeah, I mean, it would be kind of like that.
You know?
That would be kind of a dress rehearsal for how it would go. But yeah, generally that's it.
Yeah, and
then
you tell
just
your story, and we sit in awe, and I'll be honored that you shared it with us, and thank you. And now you're really part of the Paranormal Portal.
Just get back to us on the finish there.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on a sec. I'll be back.
But anyway, that's fine too. That brings up a good point. If you don't want to call in, that kind of freaks you out, you can email stories. However, if you email me things, generally I can't put them on the night or the day of, unless you give me, unless I've responded back to you and we've talked. It's kind of tough to mix things like that in, because believe it or not, I actually do plan these shows. But I'll be happy to, if we can read it tonight, I will try to. But if we can't, please understand. I do need a little bit of notice. We can't live email in. I can't do it. But
so she Dream says, I stumble and word vomit all over myself.
Have you not heard this show?
Wow. You could do your own segment for that matter.
Yeah, you sound like part of the team. What are you talking about? Have you heard me read anything from Iceland? Oh my God. I'm just saying it gets all kinds of ugly when I start vomiting phonics all over the place. It's pretty terrifying. But
I don't know how you can put two consonants together and get a syllable.
I don't know.
Odd.
Yeah. Well, that's probably why my Midwest palate has such a struggle to pronounce a lot of words from around the world. But as it were, we've got a lot on the plate.
Hold on. She says that's fine. It's on your Facebook account. I don't know your email. The email is paranormalportalradio@gmail.com.
Yeah, paranormalportalradio@gmail.com.
There you go.
The Facebook email I try to stay on top of, but I sometimes may miss a day or two checking that. So okay, she said I didn't expect today. I will try to read it today though, just because I appreciate you sending in the story. But if we can't, then I hope you understand. But I will read it on a future show, and possibly,
Thank you.
Possibly as well. I will. I'm sorry. Possibly it'll end up on one of our podcasts as well. But anyway, let's get to the news before I vomit all over myself with all kinds of colorful words.
Good news.
All right, time for the news. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranormal Portal News Desk. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, well, your anchor, rather, and Don here is the co-anchor over there. Right, I'm pointing the right, yeah, there. He's over there. And so we're going to bring you the best show we know how to do, give you all the hot news from the press, or the hot from the press's news.
The hot
actually,
from the hotness.
Actually, I got to tell you guys that we've been rifling through so much news that there wasn't much new stuff, so I crawled through the archives to find you some real cool, fun stuff.
Oh, hey.
That's what we're going to dig into tonight. Hey.
I got something.
Okay.
CIA documents reveal Soviet soldiers were turned to stone by aliens.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's a quick read.
Okay. Well, let's go to Don's.
I don't know if you can you get me on there? Hey.
Well, I can get your camera on there.
Oh, that's all you need.
Yeah. Let me just go to full Don cam.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go. Take it away.
Hey, so it's my first real segment by myself on the news. Ha ha ha. So this is what I've got. CIA documents revealed Soviet soldiers were turned to stone by aliens. This came out October 12th, 2021. So it was just last week. Says ufologists unearthed on official website of the CIA, according to them, one of the strangest and most frightening UFO reports. The report says that after 1991, due to the collapse of the USSR, many secret KGB documents fell into the hands of a wide range of people, including the CIA. In 1993, an unspecified Ternopil, that's what it says, newspaper in the Ukraine wrote about an alien attack on a soldier of a military base in Siberia, referring to the KGB documents. In the latter, it mentioned that there were 250 page folders of KGB about this incident with photos of the dead and pictures of the UFO itself.
Ooh.
The date of this incident was not indicated anywhere. It all started with the fact that the flying saucer once appeared in the sky over an unspecified military base somewhere in Siberia, and one of the people did not think anything better than how to launch it. They shot it with a ground-to-air missile. After the The plate after hitting the rocket was damaged and fell nearby, but the pilots did not suffer. At the same time, they became very angry. They left their ship. They're talking about the aliens, after which they attacked the soldiers at the base. Allegedly, only 2 survived the attack. The rest, in the amount of 23 people, were turned to stone with an incomprehensible weapon.
Wow.
According to the description of the survivors, the aliens were short with large heads, black eyes. There were 5 of them. The strange weapon with which they attacked the soldiers was buzzing loudly, and it looked like a bright ball of light. What happened after the attack is not described. Probably the aliens managed to fly away in their ship. At the end of the CIA report, stated the petrified bodies of the soldiers were sent to a secret research center in Moscow. Experts suggest that the unknown source of energy instantly changed the structure of the human body, turning it into a substance whose molecular structure is no different than limestone.
Wow.
At the end of the report, the CIA agent makes a special note. If these KGB documents are real, then this is an extremely threatening case. The aliens possess weapons and technology that go beyond all of our assumptions. No, really? Wow, turn them to limestone.
Whoa.
Can you imagine that?
I can't. Well, I mean, of course, the Bible has something like that.
Well,
Pillars of salt.
Yeah,
you know?
pillars of salt, yeah.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I mean, I guess if we look at all matter as being energy at the core, then is it possible to rearrange that energy to be different matter?
Right. Yeah.
Transmutation, right?
Yeah, that's what that would be. Yeah, taking it from, the living flesh to something, that's just
like a rock.
Well, yeah. I was trying to think of a more scientific word, but for some reason it wouldn't come out of my mouth. But yes, a rock.
Can you smell what the rock is cooking?
Oh, God.
Apparently, KGB officers. I'm just saying.
Wow.
I don't know. That's really strange.
Wow.
Where did you find that article?
It was a website called New Now, I believe. Let me get back to it. New Now.
New Now. Okay, newnow.com?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, we're going to have to look at that for more of the news.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I just got the usuals from unexplained-mysteries.com, and the first one on deck for my presentation is report dismisses Havana syndrome theories. Now, recently we've been talking about a lot of people are claiming that they might have been exposed to microwave energy as in a type of weapon. People are feeling sick, getting horrible headaches, and it's only like they're confined to a room. And once they leave the room, they're normal. So whatever's going on, and I postulated that maybe it's something to do with our wire Wi-Fi, keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And maybe it's interacting with people's biology much like an energy weapon would, such as a microwave transmitter. That was where the name came from for the Havana syndrome. But here it is. Let's see what it says. A declassified report seems to dismiss the idea that Havana syndrome is caused by microwave weapons. Okay, well, I guess it doesn't discredit it completely, just not a microwave weapon. The State Department report, which was written by the U.S. government's Jason Advisory Group, JASON, was completed back in 2018, more than a year after the original spate of attacks that left U.S. diplomats suffering from a range of mysterious symptoms in Cuba. Oddly enough, the report seems to completely dismiss the idea that the unexplained buzzing noises and neurological injuries sustained by the victims was caused by some form of ultrasound or microwave weapon being operated by a foreign power. Instead, while not entirely ruling out the possibility, the report's authors suggest that the most likely explanation was that the symptoms were psychological in nature and that the buzzing noises heard at the time of the attacks was in fact the call of an insect native to the region. Well, this is happening everywhere, though.
What?
There's people all around the world that are apparently attached to the CIA and diplomats and stuff that have experienced it. So, no plausible single source of energy, neither radio nor microwaves nor sonic, can produce both the recorded audio-video signals and the reported medical effects, the report concluded. We believe the recorded sounds are mechanical or biological in origin rather than electronic. The most likely source of the Indies is the Indies short-tailed cricket. The declassified document was obtained by BuzzFeed following the Freedom of Information Act request. While the conclusions reached are certainly interesting, what the authors of the report didn't know back in 2018 was that the symptoms, now known as Havana syndrome, would continue to be reported by U.S. personnel in multiple countries. Yeah, exactly. So this makes the cricket an extremely unlikely explanation for the buzzing sounds described.
You got to be kidding me. They tried to say it was a friggin' cricket.
That was the noise that they had recorded. They apparently recorded some buzzing noise, as well as people having these symptoms.
But the buzzing noise may or may not have anything to do with it.
Right.
It may be coincidental.
It may be.
But, how much buzzing noise are you going to hear when you're being bombarded with microwave? Right. You're going to hear a lot of noise. You're either going to hear a lot or none.
Well, what kind of interaction does a microwave signal have with, if it was directed energy, if it was a certain frequency on a microphone? It may create a buzzing noise. I would wager.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and your ears are going to be ringing. You're not going to be hearing much. Yeah. Because that's a radio wave.
Yeah. It's very painful.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's that. Another BS report from a long line of BS reports. Thank God for freedom of information.
Yeah. Gosh, yeah.
It's not really freedom of information as much as it's freedom of propaganda.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did they disclaim this one? Well, the next one up is kind of interesting, and I think this one's kind of funny. But this is from unexplained-mysteries.com from October 17, July 11th, 2016, rather. And it's lost camera takes underwater crab selfie. What are you doing, SpongeBob? Get back to work. The old camera fished up from the bottom of the sea was found to contain some rather remarkable footage. Dan Rose and his sister Madeline had been fishing off the coast of England earlier this month when they reeled in something unexpected, an old GoPro camera that had been sitting on the sea floor. Intrigued by the discovery, Dan took the device home in an attempt to get it to work. The circuits had unfortunately been corroded by the seawater, but the SD card inside seemed to still be intact. When he played the footage back, he discovered that the camera had been dropped almost a year earlier by some divers, and that while sitting on the bottom of the sea, had managed to pick up a visit from a rather curious crustacean. The footage, which has been viewed almost 2 million times online, went viral. Almost immediately, and within a matter of hours, the original owner of the camera was found.
Wow.
There is a video, and I'll put a link to this in both chats because that might be kind of fun. But and also you hear, "Sorry, Mr. Crab."
Under the sea.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Mr. Crab. Sorry, that was a SpongeBob thing. It was funny in my head, but anyway, tough crowd. Tough crowd. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, stop.
Okay, so that was that one. Let's get to another one here as we careen through the news. I got to keep an eye on we got 9 minutes. We're good. Let's get to the next one. And this one, ladies and gentlemen, is an article from unexplained-mysteries.com. This one's kind of bizarre. Again, it's from their archives of bizarre. So I guess that stands to reason. But this is from unexplained-mysteries.com. Identical twins give birth at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. Two identical twin sisters located in two different U.S. cities had given birth at the exactly the same time. The remarkable coincidence saw Sarah Marius give birth in Denver, Colorado, while her identical twin sister, Leah Rogers, was also giving birth in La Jolla, California. La what?
La Jolla.
La Jolla. Oh, yeah. ¿Qué pasa, amigo? Sorry, La Jolla. Looked like Jola. Yeah. Sorry. Again, I'm a Midwestern transplant, so you don't get a lot of culture in that. Both babies arrived within the space of a single minute.
Wow.
1:18 a.m. on Thursday, June 30th. Both women had learned of their own pregnancies at around the same time last year, and both the births had been predicted to be within 4 days of one another. The only major difference between them was that one gave birth to a boy while the other had a girl.
Wow.
We've always lived in separate places, but all of us, we have two sisters, are very close in age and very close, said Rogers, but certainly there's another connection at the twin level. I call it my twin tuition.
Of course.
And I knew she was pregnant too. There you go.
Huh.
Well, that's cool. I guess they get to do that together as well.
Well, does that make them twins? They're cousins, but are they twins?
I don't know. Yeah, that's
half their DNA is the same.
that's true. They're identical. Did it say that? I think it did, right?
Yeah, I believe it was identical twins.
Yeah.
Identical.
Okay.
Yeah, identical twin sisters. Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, here's the next one. So there is that. You're absolutely right. Genetically, they're actually half identical.
Yep.
Here's one from unexplained-mysteries.com. This one, everybody's got the parents that like to tell the stories about how life was so much harder for them, and they went uphill both ways to school through 5 feet of snow, et cetera, et cetera. But I think there's some kids in China that actually might have the whole cake here.
Wow.
They might have the best claim to how hard their life is, and this is: kids in China climb 2,500 feet cliff to school. That's right. One school in China. Why couldn't they put the school down at the bottom of the cliff? Jeez. One school in China is so inaccessible that pupils have to climb down a huge cliff just to get there. If you thought your own daily school or work commute was bad, spare a thought for these kids. Situated in Jiazhou County, southwest China, one remote village is so out of the way that the local school can only be reached by descending an almost totally vertical 800-meter cliff using nothing but a series of rickety bamboo ladders and wires. Vines, rather. Oh, my God. I was just thinking, who would let their kids go to school there?
Not me.
So this is a good case for Chinese homeschooling. I'm just saying. Children as young as 6 are forced to endure the 2-hour climb once every 2 weeks, as there is currently no other way up or down the cliff and no other school for them to go to. Wow, those poor kids. Jeez. Oh, man.
No.
Yeah, I don't.
No,
I don't. Unfortunately, though, thanks to the amounts of criticisms levied at the local Liangshan prefectural government following the release of the stories, plans to build a makeshift metal staircase up the mountain are expected to be announced soon.
A makeshift metal. So it's going to be stuff that's just been lying around in the jungle for, 200 years.
Some kid has fallen to their death.
I was wondering that too. How many kids die every year climbing up that stupid thing?
Yeah, it's rain and all of a sudden it gets really slippery.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And I'm betting, looking at the picture that we have,
they're miserable.
Those those ladders are really not very well maintained. I'm going to put a link to it over in TFR for Bam, who's over there. He can check this out. Bam's over there in TFR, holding down the TFR live fort. Thank you, Bam. Good to see you, brother. But yeah, that's absolutely tragic. I mean, good for those kids. It's a hell of a thing to want to,
Oh, Rachel.
What did she say?
Those kids are definitely receiving a higher education. Oh, no. She's horrible.
She's actually really clever.
She is.
She's so clever.
But she's still going to hell.
All right. Here's the next one from unexplained-mysteries.com. 2 men caught after taking 15 years off of work.
Wow.
15 years.
I think that's called retirement.
2 government employees in Spain. That's called retirement. I bet you they are now. 2 government employees in Spain managed to skip work without anyone else noticing for over 15 years. Wow. Skipping the day off of work is something that many people will have done at some point in their lives, but 2 men in southern Spain took this to a whole new level when they took advantage of a loophole in their work agreement to remain home from the office for more than a decade. The duo, who were representatives for the General Confederation of Labor Union, were
go figure.
They're union boys.
They know how to work.
Were only found out after the authorities' Human Resources Department started to investigate staff records. It is not the first time that the town of Jerez de la Frontera has been in hot water over labor issues either. A separate investigation revealed that some of the local police union has also been skipping work for most of the year, with some employees only showing up for as little as 2 months. That's where seniority comes into play, I bet.
Wow.
When you get here so long, you don't even need to go in. This government again confirms this decision to end the irregular labor situations that may have been happening for some time within the of the town hall. The local government stated it remains unclear what, if any, disciplinary actions will be taken against those involved.
What was the loophole, though? I mean, what was it that they were?
guess.
That's like, okay, so loophole. Okay, so at my work, if you have two suspected symptoms of this thing going around right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have two, you can take 5 days off and get paid for no reason,
Oh,
and
wow.
and you get paid for it off
Over and over and over. Huh?
Now, if you get tested and you get if you get a negative, then you can come back to work. But if you don't get tested, or if you do get tested, you get 14 days off paid.
And you're positive. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got one guy for the last 2 months. He has 3 months. 3 months. He has had 3 weeks off in 3 months because he had COVID. Okay. Now he actually has COVID, and guess what? He's not getting paid.
Oh, way to bruise that one.
Yeah.
Here's the last story on our list. Ghost turns out to be a man stuck in the chimney.
What?
Brad Sapp thought he was going mad when he started hearing a voice in the early hours in the morning. Sapp had been sorting out cans at the Redemption Center that he owns in Carroll, Iowa, when he thought he heard the words, "Get out of here," being uttered by someone nearby. Perplexed, he searched the whole building but found nothing to explain the phenomena. Next morning, he told his wife, who jokingly dismissed the incident as a ghost, but when she too heard someone crying out from within the building's walls, the pair ended up calling the police. The source of the voice, as it turned out, was a 29-year-old former acquaintance who had somehow managed to get himself hopelessly wedged inside the building's chimney. Even more peculiar was the fact that he was eventually rescued and was found to be wearing no clothes at all, and having seemingly removed them before entering the chimney to help him fit inside. The perpetrator, who offered the rather implausible explanation that he had gotten stuck while playing hide and seek,
What?
has since been arrested and is now facing trespassing charges. There you go, folks. That's the news.
Oh, my
We're going to be right back. And the break is coming right up, too. All right, folks, we're going to go to the break. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes for more of the Paranormal Portal. Don't go away. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are into the second half hour of our journey tonight, and it's flying by. We're making some tracks, Don.
Making some tracks.
We are cruising through the evening, as always, but we have a lot more of the paranormal on deck. We're going to get into some cryptid stories later, as well as some angel stories. Angel stories. But first off, I've had this article open for a while, and I thought, let's start with this.
Spirit stalker. She says, "Hi all. Did I? Oh no. Sorry. No. Where'd it go? Oh no. It moved on me. Sorry. It's Matthew. Matthew said this music makes me feel like we're about to get dangerous."
We are.
Welcome to the portal.
We are about to get dangerous. All right.
Sorry, I can't help that.
No, that's funny. That's great. Let's get to this article though, and this is one. I kind of remember hearing about this, and then they're right. It did kind of just fade away, which is weird. But the article is coming from Curiosmos.com. And is there a 20,000-year-old underwater pyramid in the Atlantic Ocean? And would that be Atlantean? You know what I mean? The whole lost nation of Atlantis. Yeah. Let's see what it says. The discovery made worldwide headlines, but now no one seems to be talking about it anymore. Pyramids have been built in nearly all the corners of the world. Thousands of years ago, ancient cultures erected pyramids of all shapes and sizes. I bet they probably looked really big on the bottom and small on the top. It says all shapes and sizes. It's a pyramid. That is a shape.
It doesn't really much deviate from the idea of a triangle.
Yeah. Three-dimensional.
Kind of three-dimensional, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's go. Eviscerating the poor guy for writing the article. But that was kind of funny in my head. Sorry. Hairball. Some of them remain standing today. Others are shrouded in myths, and some of them have disappeared from the face of the planet. But a few years back, there was news about a massive discovery near the Azores Islands coast. News reports had suggested that underwater explorers had found a pyramidal-shaped structure several meters high with a base of around 8,000 square meters. Wow. Given the nature of the alleged discovery, that fact that somewhere there is beyond the Pillars of Hercules, Plato said Atlantis sank thousands of years ago, and the idea of Atlantis being more than just a myth sprung back to life. Plato describes Atlantis disappearing in a single day and night, swallowed by the ocean directly where the Azores stand today. Through violent earthquakes and floods in a single day and night of misfortune, the whole race was swallowed up by the earth, and the island of Atlantis disappeared into the depths of the sea. That was Plato who wrote that. The supposed underwater structure was found just off the islands of São Miguel and Terceira in the Azores, but the man who discovered the structure, according to Portuguese media, was Diocleciano Silva. The story goes that whilst on a fishing trip, Silva stumbled across what seemed to be a perfectly shaped structure. The perfectly shaped structure, the ship's bathymetric equipment.
I think it would ping.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm like, what does that mean? I don't get it. Sorry. Bathymetric equipment is the underwater equivalent to hypsometry or topography. The discovery was even aired on television, and the pyramid is located at around 40 meters beneath the surface between São Miguel and Terceira Islands, a report explains in a video that's been uploaded to YouTube, and it has a base larger than a football field. The Silva, who has made the discovery, said in an interview that the structure's form was impressive. It was a perfect pyramid. It's amazing because it forms a perfect pyramid. Moreover, orientation, deployment of the pyramid, the vertices are oriented north and south, just north and south, such as the Giza pyramids in Egypt. Silva told the Portuguese news website Terra. Given the pyramid's accuracy and positioning, Silva does not believe that the structure is a natural formation. Despite the attention that the story received around the world, the structure remains a mystery. The supposed pyramids age is between 12,000 and 20,000 years old, dating back to the end of the last ice age. How this age was obtained remains a mystery. I was thinking the same thing when I read this. Like, how did they know? The Portuguese Navy has dismissed the alleged pyramid's existence as a seamount based on some old sonar readings of the area, but still, no one has actually traveled to the site to investigate what exactly was identified tens of meters beneath the ocean.
What?
In a rare interview a few years back about the alleged structure, Admiral Fernando Pires, commander of the maritime zone of Azores, said there wasn't enough information about the structure at this time to say what exactly it is. At the time, we seek probes that could constitute a danger to navigation and found nothing, he told Sapo. As noted by the IBT, Pires explained that the Navy was not ruled out the idea that the pyramid could have been formed by a volcanic eruption. The archipelago of the Azores is composed of volcanic islands. No historical evidence whatsoever suggests that the Azores or the nearby area harbored a pyramid-building civilization. Despite this, the websites of the alleged Azores pyramid, which has not been updated in quite a while, states that archaeologists from the Portuguese Association of Archaeological Research, or APIA, have identified archaeological evidence on Pico Island that supports their belief that human occupation of the Azores predates the arrival of the Portuguese by many thousands of years. Wow. Archaeologists exploring the Azores Island have uncovered the remains of an epigraph from Roman times, Carthaginian sanctuaries, cave art, as well as megalithic structures. But given that nothing has been heard of the alleged discovery in recent times, we can only conclude that the supposed structure, once called out as a history-changing discovery, is nothing more than what the Portuguese Navy initially said, an oddly shaped seamount.
Huh.
Well, I don't know.
No. Yeah, no.
That looks
if
pretty uniform.
If that picture is topological, there's no way. Nature doesn't make right angles.
Right.
Nature doesn't make right angles, especially underwater.
Yeah. I mean, there are some forms of stone and stuff that can fracture in very geometric shapes.
But at 12 to 20,000 years old, there is no way, though, that nature made a perfect
pyramid.
Yeah.
Yeah. With what if this is an actual capture? I can't play the video and stuff, but at any rate, I posted it in TFR, the chat there, if anybody wants to check it out, and I'll post it in YouTube as well, so that people can check it out at their own time. But I think, yeah, I kind of agree with you. It's hard to believe that everything is going to be absolutely symmetrical, aligned north and south. Just like the Great Pyramids in Giza are. Oh, thank you, Maggie. I appreciate
thanks,
that.
Maggie. Yeah.
For the lights. Well, I'll get more lights. Jeez. I appreciate that. That's very sweet. Thank you so much. But I think there's always these talks of these missing, or, of the story of like Atlantis.
Right.
And there's
the ancient civilizations, the spirit and stuff like that. Right.
And then, I think it's not without reason that maybe it wasn't widely known because, the ancient world wasn't really good at keeping track of information.
Yeah, the history's a little iffy.
And it was really regional. The histories were very regional.
True.
So I don't know why anybody would expect that they would have very, concise records of every society that it may have existed back then or before.
Right. Yeah, there's no way to tell. I mean, they're saying that this went under the water 12,000 to 20,000 years ago.
Right.
How the hell would we know? Who would be around? Who wrote the book that said this is when it went down? But Plato wasn't 12 or 25,000 years ago. Mm-hmm. He was what, 5?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, he was.
So, maybe 2. I can't remember. I'd have to look it up. He was AD, I'm sure, or CE, whatever you want to say. Whatever.
And I'm ADHD.
I'm just.
When did Plato
Yeah. But the point is that he was
he's just
told, he was relaying the story from what he read in some ancient manuscripts
sure.
about Atlantis to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
But Atlantis had already been gone by then. So he was referring back to these ancient texts.
Right.
So, and they're gone now. Plato's been gone for a while. How long?
347 BC was
Okay,
his when he passed away.
Yeah, so that's like 2,500 years ago. 2,600 years ago.
I'm just looking up something else. I don't know if he saw. I was just looking that if was his account based on him actually seeing Atlantis was what I wasn't quite sure of. I don't know if that was part of the Odyssey or the Iliad, but
And right there it says Plato's Atlantis is told his
Socratic dialogues, as told in his Socratic dialogues. I don't know what. I mean, I'm not sure what a Socratic dialogue is, other than it's Socrates. But Atlantis history, Plato, through the character Critias in his dialogues, describes Atlantis as an island larger than Libya and Asia Minor put together, located in. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we may never know. But I do.
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. So.
I do remember, apparently when I think I was in high school, and they were talking about 1987 was going to be such a cool year because that was when allegedly Nostradamus had predicted Atlantis would rise again, which unfortunately didn't happen. So apparently we're still waiting for that. I'm not sure what happened, but I guess they missed their mark.
Yeah, I'd say so.
They missed the mark, Don. But from that article, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go back to our other article we've been driving through for the last several nights. This is from factinate.com, and these are real-life supernatural encounters.
Ooh.
The best laid plans were on number 90. We've gone through 89 of them already. Wow. Ding. Since I was a child, I'd have a nightmare about this haunted house, and specifically the balcony and upstairs. The upstairs floor plan was such that there was a hallway running horizontally with each door to the left facing the balcony. I would be extremely unnerved in my dream, walking down this hallway, the hair on my neck standing up, just feeling the presence of evil. In 2019, my wife and I went to an architect to design a house for us to build in the Acadian/Creole style. The upstairs floor plan was exactly like the one in my nightmare. We scrapped the plans, and it's a good thing. We all know how, 2020 turned out. I feel like someone was warning me not to build that house ever since I was a child.
I have a question, sir. I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I have a question. It says the upstairs floor plan was such that there was a hallway running horizontally.
Yeah, which is how they usually run.
Which other way would it be? Vertically? Was the hallway vertical?
I think he means side to side, like
Side
as
to
you're
side,
looking
like
at
left
it.
to
Yeah.
right. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I think that's what he's trying to
Because
say.
it'd be the same thing, front to back. It'd still be
Sure.
horizontal.
It would be.
Otherwise, you're climbing, 2,500 feet to school.
Well, and we can tell that has happened. That was submitted by an Ormond_villain, as it were.
There you go.
Number 91, a face in the door. When I was growing up, my grandparents lived down the street from us, and their house was always the gathering place. People came for a cup of coffee every day, and on this day, an ambulance went roaring past their house. My dad had suffered some brain injuries a few years prior to this event, but had fully recovered and even gotten sober. When she saw the ambulance, my grandmother had joked and said something along the lines of, "I hope that's not going to my son's house." My uncle was also in the kitchen at the time, probably drinking coffee. My uncle said, "Nah, your son is at the door." He had seen my dad looking through the window next to the door. Earlier that day, I'd come home from work to find my dad dead on the sofa. He was cold to the touch, but I still called emergency services and tried to resuscitate him in case there was any chance that I was wrong. Wow. This was the ambulance that had passed my grandparents' house. Clearly, it was not my dad that my uncle had seen. Or was it?
Ah.
Wow. Yeah, didn't they wonder when he didn't actually come in? Like he just stood at the door?
Wow.
That's crazy. That was by J. Mizouf. Very cool story, though. Number 92, Wild Goose Chase. When I was attending college, a friend and I were walking back to our dorm rooms late one night. I attended a school with a primarily white population of students. And as we were getting within about a half mile of our dorm building, we were laughing about some joke when we suddenly noticed a man in torn clothing running at us at full speed. We both slowed our pace to a crawl as he kept coming at us, unaware of what was going to happen. The man got closer and closer, and when he passed under a streetlight, we noticed a few things that were odd. He was A, sprinting away from something, and B, holding a rather large bowl of fruit in his hands. He sprinted right past us without even regarding our existence. When we looked back to where he had come from, we were greeted by a truly bizarre sight. There was what appeared to be a bear cub sprinting in our direction. Both my friend and I began taking steps away slowly, and just as we were about to start following the man in the same panicked manner, the animal took a beeline for a curb towards what appeared to be a sewer drain. The closer it got to the drain, the smaller this animal appeared until it was the size of a mouse and went straight into the drain and completely out of sight. Then it got even weirder.
How?
I don't know. This is really weird. This is crazy. The closer we got to the drain, the more it seemed to fade from our view. And then we moved over a bit. We were standing right next to the curb. It quickly became clear that there was actually no drain there whatsoever. We proceeded to walk back in silence to the dorms. We still have no clue what happened that night, but I remember several other things during my time at that school that were also unexplainable.
Wow.
So it was a bear cub, or what looked like a bear cub, I guess.
That eventually turned into a
mouse, went into a drain that wasn't actually there.
And it got crazier because the drain wasn't there.
I guess so.
But
yeah, there's no credit given to that one. It's just a permalink. Wow. Number 93, synchronized dreaming. I can't fully explain it, and I'll never forget it. My siblings and I all had the same dream on the same night a year ago. It was exactly 1 year after my mom had passed, and we all had a dream about her. In the dream, she was in the same place and was speaking to us. She assured us that she was okay, and she was with her mom and my dead siblings, and that her dad is in that bad place. Ooh, yikes. The next day, we all realized we had had the same dream. We even all independently drew a picture of the place where we saw her and wrote down the name of the place it resembled. Most of my siblings took that as an actual message from my mom, but my youngest sister and I like to believe that we have all developed some freaky hive mind, low-level telepathy. And that was by Queen_Omega. Yeah, that's weird. If more than one person dreams the same dream, then that's powerful. Very, very powerful. I think dreams are incredible, though. I really do. What?
one of our the new name for me, Leslie Arango. New name. Hi, Leslie. How are you? She says, "Oh, I've had synchronized dreams with my ex.
Oh.
It was about laundry detergent and the Dollar Tree." Wow.
Wow, that is cool. But welcome to the show. Great to meet you.
Laundering money, the Dollar Tree,
laundering money. I don't know. The thing is I remember one of the visits that I believe was very real and really truly happened with my dad after he passed. I was sitting at the table in their dining room at my mom's and dad's house, and my dad was there, and there was a discussion going on. And my next oldest brother was there as well, and I was there. And my mom was there. And we were having this discussion. And I'm not going to go into the details of it, but again, these dreams are so profound and so amazingly real. And when I later woke up, as this dream had gotten to a point, and then I woke up for real, I was like, oh my God. And I actually had to wait for several hours until morning came because I fully expected that I would call my mom and she would remember the dream too. I mean, it was just, everything about it was so ultra real. But
right.
Unfortunately, she didn't. She didn't recall that dream. It doesn't mean maybe it wasn't real for her or she didn't experience it, but she just didn't recall the dream. So I assume it was just my dream. But still, the even the matters that were discussed in this dream were so incredible, and I just thought for sure that she was there, like really was there with me, and I could call her the next day and talk about it. But
you know what I really hate about dreams is like when you're like your girlfriend or your wife have dreams and then wake up and start beating you to death because for some reason they think they dreamt that you did this or that.
Who's Becky? What?
I'm no whack. Oh, hey, I still don't whack. What?
Shoes are not going to help my memory.
Oh, I hate those dreams. The part that really sucks is I'm not the one having them. Why are you not talking to me? I'm mad at you. Why? I had a dream. I don't care.
Yeah, those are not the good ones. That's true. I gotta say that would suck. But
wow. Wow.
Cosmic Floor guilty.
Oh really? Oh gee.
Oh man.
I'm not speaking to you today.
Oh, that's funny. Wow. Yeah, that would suck.
Maggie claims that too. She's like my husband hates that too. Yeah. Like what the hell did I do?
That's funny.
Let me take the Midol for you. I need it after that beating.
Yeah, no kidding. I've got all kinds of cramping suddenly. Oh God. Yeah, that's not even fair when that happens.
I'm so sorry, but that was just too funny.
That is pretty funny. I did that when I was pregnant, Ghost Magnet 81 said. Oh man. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, when you're in a real dream and it feels real, it's no different than your waking state if it's really, really profoundly powerful.
The profound ones, yeah.
And certainly that would be a devastating
But,
dream.
don't be mad at the person for something they didn't do, but there's obviously something bothering you.
Yeah.
So you need to sit down and have a talk.
Ooh, Don's going Dr. Phil on us.
But it's not real if you dreamed it. No, well, you might. It might be real.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the power of dreams.
We're not worthy.
Number 94, the right time. While I was living in Denver, I had a friend fly into town to visit. The Denver National Airport was about 30 minutes away, and her flight was scheduled to get in around 11:15 p.m. At exactly 10:30 p.m., I got a text message from her, and she said, "I just landed. Are you here?" Assuming her flight arrived early, we immediately started rushing to the airport while I kept trying to call her, only to have her phone go to voicemail. I thought maybe her phone had kicked the bucket or something, so I continued to refresh the flight information page on our way there, and it just kept saying the plane was still in transit. We ended up getting to the airport before 11:15 with no word from my friend or new information about the flight, and we circled the airport and waited, and then I got a text that sent a shiver down my spine. At 11:15 p.m. or so, I got the exact same text message she had sent me at 10:30 p.m. I called her and I asked if she texted me while she was in the plane, and she said that there was no way she could since she had her phone turned off the entire time. When I finally met up with her, I asked to compare our text conversations on our phones. I had two of the same texts from her, one at 10:30 p.m. and one at 11:15 p.m., while her conversation only read 11:15 p.m. She confirmed that she hadn't typed it out prior either. Her phone was completely off. This glitch in the matrix made me waste 15 minutes circling the airport. Yeah, well, I don't think that's the big takeaway here.
No.
How much time you were circled to the airport. The big takeaway is that it makes you wonder.
Message 45 minutes early.
Right. And is that an indication that your friend time slipped in a sense, or you got a time slip, or is that an indication that this is all a simulation and that was a glitch?
Maybe it's just all happened before.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it probably has, and maybe that's the whole multiverse thing, and we've talked about that many times on the show. But those kind of things really, really make you wonder what the hell's going on here, because it makes you wonder how many of our moments are even organic at all. You know, how many of them are just pre-planned events that are supposed to happen because of some other big algorithm or something. I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to the hour break now, and we got about 3 minutes to get some beverages, get the loo taken care of, and join us right back here for the second hour of the Paranormal Portal tonight. So I don't know about you, but it's going to be good. All right, we'll be right back, folks.
Play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, dripping scars across my heart. Raging anger boils inside me as their lies keep falling apart. With my silence, I am not a stupid boy. No more breaking me with kindness, just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise, you're just another fucking mess. Taking off the slice of my sanity, just make sure that you're well fed.
A nightmare from which they cannot wake. I can see you, Mommy! Where are you? I've never sensed innocence like it.
I remember.
Carol Ann is not like those she's with, they're attracted to the one thing about her that is different from themselves. Her life force is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire, but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeists are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are of fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
Ladies and gentlemen, hour number 2. We're into hour number 2 now, folks. That's it. We're breaking some kind of record, I'm sure, somewhere. It seems to have flown by at an astronomical speed, and you know what? I like that. What do you think, Don?
I think, therefore, I am.
Okay, well, that's the update from Don's Corner. Back to the regular scheduled program.
I didn't know Don Knotts' first name was Jesse.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, and I didn't know he was a ventriloquist either. Which is scary because ventriloquist dolls are
Creepy.
yeah.
Unless Jeff Dunham, then they're pretty funny.
Then yeah, well,
Or Terry Fader, he's another good one.
Terry Fader.
My dad loved Terry Fader.
What about that little girl? She was like 13 on like America's Got Talent or something like that.
Yeah.
She's just incredible. She was hilarious.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I did catch a clip. Elijah was watching like all those America's Got Talent things,
Right.
and they have these YouTube feeds full of hundreds of those videos. And I think I didn't actually watch it, but I heard them talking to some young girl that was a blonde girl, and she was doing ventriloquism,
Yeah,
and
she
she
was
did
good.
really well. And now a lot of people are writing her and saying, I started it because of you, and it's helped me get
Right.
over my
Oh.
shyness. And
Yep.
yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, very cool. But we are going through an article from factinate.com, and these are real life supernatural encounters. But I got to tell you, our chat room's been going pretty wild. We had a comment from Ruger
That
that,
surprised me not.
well, there's these, you guys are having a great discussion in there, and I just wish I could keep up with it all because a lot of these things are fantastic. But Ruger said, who else said, I mean, you guys have been, I wish I should have compiled them to some degree so I could come back and talk about what you guys are saying in the chat. But, oh, thank you, Eric. Eric, the AKA artist formerly known as Rick, the Purple Hobbit. Great show tonight, fellas. Thank you.
Oh, that's what that meant.
What?
I was like, what is that? What?
Speaking of that, we should probably say who is here. Let's do some shout outs.
Oh, you want to do some shout outs?
Yeah, TFR, I've got Bam. That's it.
Bam. Bam, and that's all that matters.
Bam.
Bam.
That's all we need.
Let's see. So I guess that throws it over to me for YouTube. And our YouTube list consists of not a damn thing. My computer is just a piece of poop.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
You got
I
nothing?
clicked on participants and it went blank.
Okay, well, let me click on participants and see what we got here.
My goodness.
If I can remember how to do it. Here we go. Participants. Mine went blank too.
What?
It's not just you, Don.
What? Yeah,
No.
it did, didn't it?
Yeah. Mine went absolutely blank too.
Okay.
I don't know. It could be a YouTube hiccup because sometimes when you're looking at the feed from the, we get a dashboard from
Right.
YouTube as we do these shows, and you look at it, and sometimes the participants just dives down into a nosedive, and then it'll readjust as it comes back. But
So you think we just caught it at that one spot, that one?
I'm just gonna try to look to
one-
see.
one
Either that or we're off the air. Yeah, it came back over here. Huh.
Yeah, I'm
Pop out
okay.
chat. Let me see if maybe it's just their pop out is having trouble. That's fine. Let me see if I can get participants up here. No, it just goes dark.
Really?
And then when I
Wow.
close it, let's see. Yeah, Apparently, I can't say who's here because the participants function is not working tonight for us, so I do apologize for that. But thank you to everybody that's here, and I guess we can do it just based on who's talking. Can you try that? Are you still?
No. Yeah.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Okay.
Well, I can see Eric, the artist formerly known as Rick the Purple Hobbit, is here. Gigi's here. Ruger Ridge, Paradox Fossils, Maggie, M10, Eric again, Tiniest Squish. Let's see who's in. Lucifer Morningstar's here.
Hey.
How you doing, brother?
Yeah.
Rachel gets it right. Ruger Ridge again. Maggie. Paradox Fossils. How you doing? Good to see you.
Sheldon's here.
Sheldon's here. Awesome. Okay. Just looking through the
Cold Stairs. Rachel.
Oh, did you get it again?
No, it's just I'm popping up. The fourth
Okay.
color.
Ghost Magnet 81.
Did you say Gigi?
Yep, I did.
That's too bad.
Yeah. Jennifer Gibson is here as well.
Oh, nice.
Nice to meet you.
Dream.
Yeah, we're doing
here.
this old
Yeah.
school. Cold
Ghost Magnet.
Stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you all for being here.
All of you there.
All of you out there, thank you for being here.
You know who you are.
But let's get back into this article since we can't do the real shout outs. The next one on our list is number 95, and this is a helping pinky finger. I don't know what the hell this means, but let's see what a helping pinky finger is. My 2-year-old toddler went to a 2-hour class 3 times a week at the local church. This was in Rutherford Town, North Carolina. I should mention that this church was on the main road through town, which often had logging trucks carrying tons of wood driving on it. I went to pick up my son one day, and I could see that he had been crying. He had puffy red eyes, and he confirmed as such when he said, "Mommy, I cried." His teacher looked equally distraught. She said, "I need you to stay after class." And a few other kids were still there, waiting for their moms, and I sat there with my son. My heart was pounding. Had he bitten another child or something? That wasn't like him, but with kids, you never know. All the students finally left, and his teacher turned to me and said, "As you know, we had an outing today." I had signed a release form for the outing, which was for them to leave the school and walk next door to look at the fountain. She continued, "We used the buddy system walking over there and back, but once I got to the classroom and counted the kids, I realized one was missing." By now, the teacher was almost crying herself. As I said, this church was on the main road. The child had somehow gotten separated from the others and was alone, unsupervised, for 5 to 10 minutes, just yards away from this busy main road, with fully loaded lumber diesel trucks whizzing by. The teacher continued, "As I ran as fast as I could to go look for him, and he was standing at the main door, pounding on it, trying to get in, screaming, 'I'm so sorry.' Apparently, he had somehow found his way back to the main building, standing outside until someone found him. At this point, my son piped up, 'The pink lady helped me.' I gathered my son up and took him home, telling his teacher that it was okay and these things happen. Thank God it turned out fine, etc. I felt bad that she was so upset, but I was rattled to the core. It was terrifying, just imagining my toddler running loose next to a busy street, and he was clearly traumatized by it. On the way home, I asked him, who is the pink lady? At that time, if he didn't know someone's name, he'd identify them by what color clothes they were wearing, so the pink lady must have been wearing pink clothing. I wanted to know who this was because if she helped him, as he said, then this person found a lost toddler, led my son up to the outside of the building, and just left him there without trying to find an adult or even opening the door to let him in. What adult would do that? My son knew the names of all the people at the school, so this was a stranger to him. When my husband got home, I told him the whole story with my son again, babbling about the pink lady. My husband got a very strange look in his face and said, "You know, my grandmother was buried in her favorite pink dress."
Oh, wow.
That was by girl number 20. Yeah, that's creepy. Could be grandma stepped up and
Yeah.
brought him back. Wowzer.
Wow.
Number 96, getting dumped. At the restaurant where I worked, we had a garbage corral behind the building, and one night, one of the staff came running back and said, "I heard something in the corral." It sounded like an animal. So, being the manager on shift at the time, I made the decision that I'd go out and investigate with a big guy on staff. When we opened the corral door, we couldn't see anything, so we shone the flashlight around. Still nothing, but suddenly we heard a weird echoed grunt, which I then realized was coming from inside the cardboard dumpster. I immediately thought it must be a bear or some other large animal, so we called for help inside. Officers came with a ladder to take a look, and when the officer was done, he asked if any cameras were out there, and we said yes, and he asked to see the footage and said that we were going to want to see it too. 2 people with no clothes ran into the frame. The man falls off of the fence and lands face first on the corral's side. He then falls into the dumpster, which is right against the wall. The woman climbs the wall somehow, and she tries reaching down to help him, but then ends up falling inside too. The officer told us that when he shone his flashlight down there, he saw them huddling together for warmth while sobbing hysterically. Well, that's not really paranormal. Well, it is paranormal because that's not normal.
It's a pair of unnormal people.
That's a pair of abnormal
They were
people.
naked?
I guess so. Running around.
No clothes,
Just,
ran into the frame.
just doing a streaking thing or something.
Oh,
I don't know.
Hey, whatever.
That was by Hipster Whistle.
No, okay.
All right, now I'm going to change gears. We're going to jump to an article here. And this article is coming from phantomsandmonsters.com. And of course, this is the site run by Lon Strickler. And he's a great guy. We had an interview with him on our podcast this week, and you can check it wherever you find podcasts online, where it's out there, and it's a great discussion. But he also hosts this website, which has amazing articles. They've got a lot of research going on, especially into like the Mothman kind of stuff that's happening. And so if you check out phantomsandmonsters.com, you'll see all of the different things that they are working on. But they also have a network of researchers and a repository for people to share their experiences. So I think this is one of those. It said bizarre personal accounts describing unknown entities. 4 bizarre accounts describing a variety of unknown entities and or beings in Florida, Ohio, Maryland, and New York. Were these simple apparitions or something quite different? All right, it says, I'm in Maryland, but at 15 I had ran away and was in the woods at Fort Howard with my boyfriend. I saw a white spirit fox or something I can only describe as deer-like, glowing blue, and had almost a light bulb-like head and neck. Big and bulb-shaped. The deer part was the legs and body, and I wasn't afraid of it and felt peaceful around it. I had no desire to question or touch it.
Yeah, me neither.
My other experience was the next night. We were walking home from Fort Howard, and there are woods and farmland on this road along with Todd's farm, but I didn't see a ghost that night. We had took a weird tour through the woods, and we even had to get over a short barbed wire fence. We came out by the road and crossed the street. So to my right, across the street, is a huge long field surrounded by woods. Out of the corner of my eye, I see something, in the field walking. I know the grass is high because I've seen the cranes play in it, and it is white, pale, and anorexically thin. Honestly reminded me of a Holocaust victim. I guess it to be over 6 foot, but thinking back now, it could have been more like 8 foot. I asked my boyfriend what it was, and he looked and told me to keep walking and don't look at it.
Yeah.
Tears were running down my face. I feared for my life. I knew what I had seen was not human, not my imagination, and not a ghost. He told me later it was called an alpine spider. They could get down on all fours with their arms twisted upside down and run. That's all I know about it. Reminds me of some crawler stories I've heard or I've read. Yeah, that does sound like a crawler. Crawlers are sometimes called rakes, are possibly the same or similar things to ghouls. Whatever they are, they're absolutely creepy, and God only knows. They don't look like they eat much because they're all really gaunt and thin. But
I've never heard of that term.
The alpine spider, I haven't either.
Or the crawler. I haven't.
Oh, crawler, I've heard a few times. It's very, it's kind of the new name that they're giving it instead of rakes, because rakes has such a negative connotation as being a
Well, gee, I wonder why.
creepy pasta kind of thing made up.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right.
people are calling them crawlers now. But very interesting. I think there's probably something out there like that, and I don't know. But again, they don't seem to eat much, but they do eat, and apparently they're incredibly strong, very quick, agile, and their looks, even though they're very thin and gaunt looking, they're incredibly powerful. So if you see one, don't judge it. Don't judge the book by its cover. This next one is, I saw something weird in college. It was during the winter of 1994-95 while at the University of Buffalo. I was a recent transfer and was dorming on the 10th floor of Fargo, and I was dating a girl who was on the 8th floor. One night during the week, I was saying my good nights to her outside of her room, which she shared with 3 other girls. The hallway is long, with windows at each end as well as stairwells. Her bedroom was on one end of the hall, with the elevator on the other end. The elevator was old and noisy, and outside there was nothing but darkness. In the middle of talking, I abruptly stopped mid-sentence because I peripherally saw something that my brain could not interpret. My girlfriend asked me why I stopped talking, and I turned my head to look down the hall, still trying to understand what I saw. Then she says, "Did you see the white glowing figure walk across the hallway?" Now, I knew I didn't imagine it because she just described what I saw. It would have been impossible for both of us to imagine the same thing. We both walked down the hall to investigate, but there was nothing. The elevator was not there, and the stairwell door was closed. And if it was opened and closed, it would have made a loud thud. I have no idea what it was. For years, I thought it was an angel or something. All I know was that it was around 5'5" or so. It was all white, no details, no hair, no clothes, no eyes. It just had the silhouette of a person. It made no noise at all and was only there for 2 to 3 seconds. I've never seen anything like it again. Wow. The next one is a shorter one. It says, I grew up in Miami Township, Ohio, in the mid-'70s. Myself and friends were to camp out at Dad's garage. My sister Audrey came back to tell her scary story experiences. It was enough to frighten my friends back into the house, and after a while, I wanted to go back into the garage for our campout. As I started out the back door, Audrey grabbed my shirt. At that point, I saw what she saw. A huge, hairy creature walking upright. My thought was Bigfoot. We watched it, and it walked through the neighbor's backyard. Audrey had some other weird experiences, and my brother, Steve, was followed by a similar presence to the one I saw. His kept pace with him as he walked through the backyards to home. Then a neighbor's dog came out of the darkness, passing Steve, to chase whatever was following him. Oof.
Well, it is Ohio.
It is. Yeah, there's all kinds of strangeness in Ohio, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what's going on in Ohio, but they've got everything. UFOs, the grass man, Bigfoot. Yep. They've got dog man. They've got rakes, crawlers, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah. Did you say Mothman? Yeah, they got Mothman.
Mothman, yeah.
Crazy.
It is. There's a lot going on in Ohio. I don't know what it is, but yeah, that's one of those places. The last one on this, I think this is, the last one. It says, a few years back, it all starts with me waking up, and I vividly remember it all. I remember it was so cold that I was shivering, but I was in my own room and in Florida during the summer too, and the air vent in my room wasn't working. I heard my older brother up using my PS3. Yes, this was that long ago. So, as usual, I got out of bed so I could play too. But I felt something crawl on my neck. I threw my hand across my shoulder to scratch my neck because I didn't think much of it. Boy, was I wrong. My whole neck started tingling like there were spiders on it. I looked at my hand and it was full of things. I can't even really describe it. I guess the most accurate description would be kind of like the Venom symbiont, but filled with roaches. Oh, jeez. I screamed so loud and cried. My brother asked what's wrong, but I could barely form words. All I said was, "Take it off, please." My brother, obviously confused, wanted to know, "What are you talking about?" Me, still crying and screaming and in shock, said, "Take it out of my hand." I didn't know what to do. This black, gooey, 3-foot-tall cockroach-infested mass was building up on my hand. Huh. He finally just grabbed the nothing out of my hand, and then it stopped. There was nothing in my hand, and nothing in his. I was still in tears, but what else could I do? There was nothing. A few hours passed, and I scratched my neck, but I noticed the upper back part of my shirt was gone, like it was ripped off. But I find it weird that a scrawny kid could do that with his bare hands, but that was it. No hand-rotting darkness, no roaches, nothing. Yikes.
Wow.
That's all kinds of creepy. I think I do gotta chew some gum. I'm getting all froggy. I tried Smarties and Tic Tacs, but it doesn't work as well as gum. So I gotta do it. The man's gotta do what he's gotta do done. But special thanks to Lon Strickler for letting us use that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Really cool. Now, what do we got? 5 minutes? Okay, so I think what we're going to do is go back to that article for some of the shorter version stories. And then after break, we'll come back and do the other Phantoms and Monsters story.
Well, sweet.
Talking about guardian angels. So, we'll check it out.
Sweet.
It is. Fresh piece of gum is always sweet.
What? Ruger, you had a what? A dog man running beside your truck? Why do you not tell these stories, my man? I mean, you were on the podcast. We have a Ruger, but he didn't talk about that, did he?
I don't recall that story.
No. Sounds like you need to get him on a podcast again.
Yeah, Ruger had a ton of great stories, though.
Well,
that was a great episode.
Ruger needs to make an appointment to get on the phone with you.
You've been told, Ruger. That's all I can say.
I'll find some really cool music to put in there. I'll make you sound better than you sound.
He already sounds really cool. He's got that
real
deep delivery.
Yeah.
That Wilford Brimley thing going on. It just melts you.
Diabetes.
Number 97, playing hooky. In high school, I remember going to English, and the teacher did roll call, and she called my name, and I raised my head and said, "I'm here." Then she stopped. The eeriest thing happened next. The teacher looked around and said, "So he's not here then?" My friend and I laughed because I was obviously here. I thought she might be messing with me. That night, though, my mom got a call telling me I wasn't at classes today. I was actually marked absent. I go back to school the next day and tell my friend, Mrs. English teacher actually counted me absent. And he just said, "Why wouldn't she?" I thought to myself, haha, you're not funny. But I just let it slide because I thought, it was being messed with. Then one of my other friends sits down and asks, "You feeling better today? Or were you just playing hooky?" I was so confused. Then I go to my first hour and that teacher hands me the work I supposedly missed from the day. I looked in my bag and had the same stuff, the guide and assignments already there. To this day, I don't know if I missed that day of school or not.
All right.
That was by Okie CC. So that's weird.
Wow.
To be there, but not to be there. Spontaneous invisibility, maybe, Don?
That is the question. That's a good question.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, ladies and
That's
gentlemen,
coming up, yeah.
Don and I covered that on the show a while back. Mm-hmm. But there's a phenomenon called spontaneous invisibility. And in it, these people have these claims, much like the one we just talked about in that story, where they are there. They are trying to talk to people, standing right in front of them, yelling, waving their hands, and the people don't see them. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of comes on boom like that. There's no rhyme or reason why, but suddenly they're just not able to be perceived. Now, something will change, or they'll go back to where it all started and then leave again, and everybody sees them just fine. So is that some kind of dormant ability some people have? Maybe we all have it somewhere in our repertoire of unused gray matter. Maybe we can do stuff like that. I don't know. But very cool. This sounds like definitely a spontaneous invisibility case.
Yeah.
But that's a cool story, and I don't know. I think those are great. I love those stories because there's lots of esoteric and occult practices that have tried to teach people to be invisible, like literally invisible.
Right.
I don't know if they're successful or not because I haven't seen it. Thank you.
Oh,
I thought that was so clever. I love that whole setup and everything.
Wow.
But
That was... Wow.
So then maybe it's
should have
working,
saw
I
that
should
coming.
say.
I
think
should have seen that.
But at any rate, that is apparently a real thing. So when stories like this come along, it's like, boom, that sounds exactly like spontaneous invisibility. But
Sheldon's booing you.
he of all people should love that. He's got my mom's sense of humor. So that stuff they should both be in stitches right now. I'm so disappointed.
I'm so
disappointed.
Thank you, Sheldon. Thank
Oh
you.
my God. Whatever. Tough crowd. No respect.
That's funny.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to the last break. We'll be back in just a couple minutes, so don't go away. And we will conclude our journey through the paranormal portal for the evening. So
Goodness.
don't go away. We'll be right back. And the bell should come anytime.
Bong.
There it is. All right, we'll be right back, guys. right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the last half hour of the show. We are cruising into the final segment here, so just thrilled you guys are with us. Thank you so much for that. Just to let you know, if you're listening on TFR, iHeart, TuneIn, or TalkStream Live, Paisley Wild will be live tonight.
As far as I understand.
As far as Donna understands, and she'll have a great show lined up for you, so head on over and listen to her. If you're listening on TFR, of course, you don't have to go anywhere, but if you're watching on YouTube, you'll want to head over to youtube.com/thespacesbetween.
There you go.
And that's how to catch her show. So
That's right.
coming up right after us. She's part of our network as well and a dear friend. So there's lots of reasons to support what she's doing. But we are cruising through the night with well, I don't think this will be the last article, but this is another article from Phantoms and Monsters. Again, special thanks to Lon Strickler and phantomsandmonsters.com for letting us showcase these articles. They're really fantastic. And this one is literally saved by guardian angels near LA's infamous Cecil Hotel. I didn't even look and see how long this one is. It's very short, so it's not actually going to take too long. I love guardian angel stories. I love where people have angelic interventions. I've heard hundreds of them through the years, maybe more. But every time it really leaves me with such a good feeling. And the reason that I like them is because in the paranormal, we always hear about the dark stuff. We always hear about the scary, the horrible, the terrifying, the life-changing horror that people experience. But there's a lot of this stuff out there too. There's a lot of the positive stuff. There's beings that seem to be really focused on helping people where they can and when they can. And I don't think we hear enough of that. Maggie says, I had an intervention. How do you know it was angelic? I don't know. It's mostly open to interpretation as far as I can tell.
I would believe so.
Some people think it's guardian spirits, guardian angels, good spirits, spirits of light. Kind of depends on what you believe, I guess, but it's anybody's guess. I don't know that. I mean, there are those claims that people saw them with wings, and then it's real safe to say, well, it's probably an angel. But oftentimes people observe them as just these radiant spirits. And I don't know. I guess it depends on the context and your faith. How do you determine something is an angel or not?
Right.
I think that many angels can be manifest in many ways. Sometimes people that can be your angels.
Right.
Like they will come to you in a time when you needed someone, and they're there and they help lift you out of terrible situations. Sometimes your pet can be an angel just because they would die for you. And dogs, cats would watch you die, but but dogs would probably take your place if that was possible. So that's a very angelic thing. So I guess angel is kind of a generic term that probably gets misused or overused, but it just means something acting for your best interest and protection.
Benevolent manner.
Right. And special thank you to Cold Stairs. Jennifer and I just want to send you some love. Well, thank you so much. We love your love.
We really do love your love.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. That's beautiful. So let's get into these stories and we'll see what you guys think. Maybe we'll see it as we go. Literally saved by angels, guardian angels at LA's infamous Cecil Hotel. And that was the location where Eliza Lamb, if any of you are familiar with
That's
that.
right.
Eliza Lamb was a student from Canada. She was, I think, originally from China. But she was down in being a tourist, and she stayed at the Cecil Hotel. And she kind of, something went bonkers for this poor girl, and she was tormented by something. And there's video of her, the last videos of her are her in the elevator acting like she's being pursued by something, pushing all kinds of buttons on the elevator, acting like she's really beside herself, like if it's a possession or something like that. But absolutely horrid. And she was later found dead in a horrible way as well. Yeah. There's nothing good about the Eliza Lamb story. It's an absolute tragedy. And there just seems to be something very dark about the Cecil Hotel. That was apparently the residence of the Night Stalker serial murderer in LA's history as well. So could be a lot of things dark and intertwined with that whole place. But Let's read this article. A couple was visiting Los Angeles on a budget, and they ended up staying at the infamous Cecil Hotel in order to save money. I bet it probably doesn't cost much to stay there.
Not anymore.
Unfortunately, their decision almost cost them much more. This was in 2014 or 2015. My girlfriend and I were staying at a hotel called Stay on Main. It's actually the infamous Cecil Hotel. I only learned later about the hotel's history, and I only stayed there because it was cheap. That place was as freaky as hell. But anyway, I digress. My girlfriend and I were walking to a parking structure where our car was because we planned on going to Disneyland. As we were walking there, my girlfriend noticed a shortcut to the car down an alley. My instincts told me, no, let's just walk around since it's a nice day outside anyway. She insisted, well, screw it, let's go. As soon as we turned into the alley, I noticed right away that a man in a hoodie quickly turned and followed us down the alley as we went. I told my girlfriend under my breath, don't freak out, but we're being followed. I told her to run and get help while I fight him off. As we started to pick up our pace to create a distance from him, I noticed that this alley is a dead end.
Oh.
There's no way out but to go back from where we came. This man was closing the distance on us, and his hands in his hoodie pocket by the belly. I make a fist with my keys as I turn around to face him, ready to fight, as we passed a dumpster. I swear to God, two men in perfect business suits with briefcases say good morning and pass us walking very fast. They popped out of nowhere. They had black sunglasses, were white and tall, at least 6 feet.
Huh.
I couldn't say anything. I couldn't give them the greeting of the day back. I was just in shock. This man that was following us had turned around and sprinted out of the alley. My girlfriend and I followed the two suited men out of the alley and back to the public streets. Hoodie guy was nowhere to be seen. But then we somehow lost the two men in suits. I swear to God, they saved my life and my girlfriend's, now wife. I'm convinced they were angels who protected us from a potential tragedy. I still give my wife grief to this day about taking that shortcut through the alley. Huh. And then Lon says, listen to Brett Butler's similar encounter in New York City. She was threatened by two men while getting into a cab when a guardian angel stepped in and saved her. Amazing account.
Brett Butler, isn't she
She was an actress, yeah. Yep.
Huh.
Wow. There is a link to that, but we're not going to go into that. So incredible. And there again, it's just this intervention of sorts. Somebody steps in and somebody, something, someone, I don't know how you want to phrase that, but the story that I love that could be a guardian angel, could be just a helpful spirit, is one that I read years ago. And I don't remember if it was from a Charles Berlitz book or where, but I'm thinking that it probably was. But it's one of those stories that really, boggles your mind. So this woman was, she was a businesswoman, but she was taking a venture to try to, she was trying to save time on a journey that she had to make driving from one location to another. And so she looked at the map and found this kind of out of the way shortcut, she figured, that was going through some very rural roads into woodlands and stuff and around rural communities and to get her back to where she wanted to go, but she figured she could do it and save a lot of time. So she's going through these back roads with her car, and suddenly her car overheats. She's got steam pulling out of the car. So, oh no. So she pulls over right away and she's stranded there and she's looking around in absolutely the middle of nowhere, forest all around, but she hadn't seen a house in quite a while. So she knew she was all alone in this forested area with no chance for help. She hadn't seen another car in quite a while as well. So she's stranded and stuck. No way to call for help, no cell phone. It was back before cell phones, but she's stuck. And she says that she just sat there just in tears, not sure what to do. And all of a sudden there's a tapping on her window and she turns. And there's a man standing in like blue coveralls saying, She rolls down her window. He's like, howdy, ma'am. Seems you got a bit of trouble. Maybe I can help. She's like, oh, please, thank you. That'd be so wonderful. And so he asked her to pop the hood. And she pulls the hood thing. And he opens the hood. All the steam comes out. And she said she got out of her car to stand by the guy without using a rag, without using anything. Puts his hand on the radiator cap, turns it, opens it. The steam rushes out. Puts the radiator cap down. No burns, nothing, not even an exclamation of pain. Says, yeah, we're going to have to get you some water. And then he walks down to what was suddenly a driveway that she didn't see before.
Huh.
He walks up to there, and there's a well there. And the guy picks up a bucket and draws a pail of water and heads back down to her car. She goes there, and he pours in the water, recaps the radiator, and he says, why don't you try it now? She turns the keys, and it's working. And she's like, oh, thank you so much. And so she goes on her way. And she decided on the return trip to take that same route to go back there and properly thank the man. So she goes back to this same area, finds the same location where she broke down. She stops. The driveway that she hadn't noticed before was very overgrown with weeds and stuff suddenly. She walks up to the house, which is absolutely vacant and abandoned and dilapidated. And she's like, nobody lives here. And she goes over to the well. There by the well is the same bucket that this man used, but she reached down and picked it up, and it had holes rusted in it. There was no way that was holding water.
Wow.
Was that a guardian angel? Was that some divine intervention? Was it just a helpful spirit?
Yeah.
What was it?
Right.
Incredible story. Again, I don't know the background on it. I don't know how, but if it was from a Charles Berlitz book, he was a man of, I think, integrity. Like, I'm sure there's some stories in his books that may not have been true, but this one allegedly was. So take of it what you will, but I think that is an incredible example. Now, Paradox says time slip. It could be. Could be that she just time slipped at that moment when that house was there and in good condition, the man that was there that helped. But she did say he opened the hot radiator with no gloves, no rag, and it should have given him scalding third-degree burns the way that shot out of the radiator after he uncapped it. But the man suffered no injury, made no claim of, my head, anything. So it seems to me that something else was at play there. And whatever it is, what do you make of that? Well, I think it truly means there are some spirits out there that are trying to be helpful, and call them angels, call them whatever you want. The man was angelic in the truest sense of the word, in that he appeared where she needed him and helped her out of a situation that she couldn't help herself. So I think that's really cool. We've also covered down through the years stories of people driving on roads, and they need gas, but they're in the middle of nowhere, and suddenly there's an old diner appears with the old lights and stuff, and they get gas and they see people and stuff, but then when they go back, there's only a very old, dilapidated, abandoned diner in that spot. Right. So these kind of stories happen. Maybe they are time slips. That's a great possibility. I hadn't really thought about that. Oh, that's very cool. Doing some shopping on Teespring, Paranormal Portal page.
Ooh.
Some cool stuff here. You all should check it out. Thank you, Cold Stairs. I appreciate that. That goes a long way to help us out as well. And ladies and gentlemen, truth be known, we don't expect, monetary help and stuff. But when we get it, it sure does help a bunch. And certainly the gear helps us a bunch as well. So if you're able to do that, fantastic. But if you can only show up and watch the shows and be a part of the audience, that is amazing to us too. There's all kinds of different ways to help, and we're thankful for every little bit. And if it's just telling someone that likes the paranormal about the show, that's a big help. Turning people onto the podcast, that's a big help. So, but we love our community. There's no question. So, oh, very cool, Maggie. Yes, I love my hoodie. I love mine too. I wore it just yesterday, as a matter of fact. It was cold, but I wasn't. At least not according to me. All right, so that was the angel stories. I don't know. I love those stories. I don't think we probably hear enough of those in the world. And I think in today's date and with all of the crap going on, we need a lot more of those stories. So maybe we'll have to do a positive segment where we just focus on these amazing positive stories, whatever form that they take. Maybe they're angelic. Maybe it's just a cool visitation by a loved one who passed or something. But I think we need a lot of those, because there's a lot of darkness right now in the world, and things are getting pretty tense. And I think that we all need to focus on the light a hell of a lot more,
Right.
and each other a hell of a lot more in positive ways. So,
Oh, Gigi.
Gigi,
Oh, jeez.
she. I don't remember those on the list. Oh, anyway. But let's go back to that other article. We'll visit some more of the stories and see where we end up then. And right now we're on number 98, Wave from the Grave. When I was a child visiting my grandma's house, my mom's mom, I'd wave next door to her neighbor, Ken, who always sat in the bay window looking out at the sea. My grandma and Ken both lived right on the coast of the North Sea and Hartlepool in the UK. We'd never really talk, but we always shared a little wave each day before I went to get into the car. One day I'm leaving my grand's house, and I'm in front of my mom, who stopped at the door talking to my gran, so I head down the steps and towards the gate. I turn back and see Ken in the window. He had a big smile as usual, waving at me. I give him a wave back. He stands up, gives me the thumbs up, and wanders towards the back of the room. My mom comes walking down the steps and asks, "Who are you waving at?" And I replied, "Ken." To this day, I can remember my mom's face. She just went white, but didn't say anything to me. A few weeks later, she plucked up the courage to tell me that Ken had passed a few days before we visited my grand's. I don't believe in ghosts, but I know I saw him. There you go, Don. I don't believe in ghosts, but I saw one. I can still picture his striped gray sweater with light stripes across it, him waving and getting up out of his chair. There was no one else in the house. He lived by himself. And then it says, brains are weird. That was by Abel Marrow 87. Brains are weird, Don, right?
Brains are strange things, yes. Brains are strange.
Brains is strange. Number 99, Friend Bear. I saw my baby babbling on the video monitor using sign language to say fun and then don't like. I was alarmed, but I never could have prepared for what I found when I entered her room to check on her. I asked her who she was talking to, but all she kept telling me was friend and bear. Finally, I got fed up and demanded to know who Friend Bear was, and her response gave me chills. Even though she couldn't speak well, she managed to say very clearly with the most serious expression, "No name, no name, shh." Well, now I'm very well and truly freaked out, so I tell her to ask no-name Friend Bear to go home because it's too late to play, and I did what any good loving mother would do. I gave her a pacifier, went back into my room, turned off the monitor entirely, and hid under the covers in my room where my good and loving husband would protect me from nameless invisible bears.
What the hell's going to protect the kid?
Yes, I know. It's like,
Well, you just abandoned your kid.
she just checked out. She's
Well,
like,
I said, I'm done.
yeah, she's like punching the time card.
Yeah.
My shift's over.
Here you go. Here's a pacifier. Shut the hell up.
Have a bottle. Good night.
Oh, man.
Yeah, poor little kid.
Wow. That's just...
Not fun. What was not fun? That's the weird part. What's the not fun part? Yeesh. All right, number 100.
Yes, Gigi, it was a bear.
Well, that was a bear, yep. You'd be right this time. My mom and older sister describe how I used to randomly start crying and asking where my mom was, even when she was right in front of me. When my mom would try to comfort me by saying she was right there, I would shout for my other mom, and I would then describe this person who apparently always held a bloody hammer.
What?
They said it scared them out of their wits, but one day when I was 2 years old, they tried to ask me about it, and I couldn't remember anything. Yeesh.
2.
2. Wow. That's creepy. You don't want your kids thinking that women with bloody hammers are their moms. Or is that a past life memory? Maybe, yeah.
You know, that might be true. Yeah, past life.
Like
memory.
maybe that's why they were in a different body now, is because the last one didn't end real well.
But how old was the kid when they talked about it?
I don't know. Said
My sister randomly crying. My other mom.
when I was 2 years old, they tried to ask me about it, but I couldn't remember anything.
When I was 2 years old. So how old were you when you were
Maybe 1?
how
Huh.
asking for mom? Okay, so like at 1, you don't have the greatest vocabulary.
No.
So how would you remember anything about a bloody hammer?
Right.
How would you describe a bloody hammer if you're a year old?
I don't know. Maybe hammer, blood. I don't know. Blood, red hammer. Who knows? Oy, that's
So,
creepy.
Red hammer.
Space. That was by SPCECDT. All right, I think we got time for
That'd be Space Cadet.
Space Cadet. Gotcha. Got time for one more here, and this is number 101. I can see it in your eyes. My boyfriend's younger brother and I were taking a bike ride down the street to the shops late one afternoon. As we got onto the main road, we noticed a dude across the street heading in the opposite direction. He was walking with a limp, his head is bowed, and he's got a plastic bag in his hand. We've only a few meters away from him when he crosses the street to our side. As the bro rides past him, the stranger lifts his head up and smiles in his direction as they passed each other. I'm a little while behind, so I don't pay too much attention to this. That is until the bro stops, turns around, and gives me a funny look, just as this guy is passing him by. I still don't think too much about it at this point, assuming that he just stopped to let me catch up. As soon as I myself passed the stranger and made eye contact with him, I realized this was not the case. The stranger looked over and nodded at me. I saw nothing in his eyes. When I say nothing, I mean like black pits where his eyes should have been, or just an eyeball that looked entirely black. I don't know how else to describe it. When I finally catch up to the bro, we stop around the corner and he says to me, "Did you see that?" I said, "You mean his eyes?" I asked. He said, "Yeah, they looked like they weren't even there." He replied, and we just kind of sat there for a while, processing what we had both just seen. Had the bro not related the same feeling and experience to me as I had felt when the stranger looked at me, I doubt I would have ever thought anything of it. I probably would have just assumed it was the light angles playing tricks on me or some such thing. It was a sunny afternoon, so glare certainly could have played a part. He could have been wearing contacts. I don't know, but none of those explanations feel like they fit. We got home later on and told everybody what had happened, but nobody believed us. And they still don't to this day. Huh. Well, that was by KRN Atras. Okay. Well, there you have it, folks. Black-eyed adult, maybe? Perhaps. I don't know.
When you start talking about black eyes or nothing there, that's where I go.
And you know what? We made it through the whole article.
Sweet.
We made it all the way through, folks. So this will be the final episode featuring this article in it.
Okay, gotcha.
Because we went through all the stories now.
Was there 100 stories? Is that what it was?
102?
102.
101. Yep.
101.
Yep, 101. So there you have it. We made it, folks. We did it. And that's about it for the show tonight as well. How'd you do, Don? What do you think? Let's sum this up.
Do not go to Russia and meet aliens. They will turn you into limestone.
Well, you probably shouldn't first launch missiles at them.
Well, that's true. Yeah, you probably shouldn't. Yeah,
because you might have a little limestone coming if you start lobbing missiles.
You know, it's kind of yeah. You might deserve that one.
Yeah.
Black-eyed persons.
Peoples. Yeah.
Beings.
Black-eyed.
Beings.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been an interesting ride.
It has been an interesting ride, and thank you all for being here and being a part of it. As always, again, please stick around and watch Paisley Wild coming up next. The Spaces Between. Thank you to all of you for all of your love and support. As always, thank you for continuing to spread the word about the show to those people you know that love the paranormal. We are, obviously, we've been at this a number of years, and it's still a lot of fun to see all of the warmth and support that you guys continue to give us. So
Definitely.
we have grown literally by word of mouth, by you guys. We don't pay to advertise. We don't do anything like that. Maybe we should, but we don't. And you guys have brought us to this point. We're edging ever closer to 10,000 subscribers. And when we get that, we're going to have a party. So, that was a so, except I had almost choked. But that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. Don, anything in closing?
Nope. Thank you. We've already talked about the Teespring. So, thank you, Cold Stairs, for checking out the Teespring. See ya.
All right. We love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day. And remember to laugh as much as you can. Good night, everybody.
Good night.